and happy to be here once again. It's been a few weeks since we've done our last live stream, and it's good to be back on. This is the London Autism Group charity. It's community live streams that we like to do, and today we're going to be just talking about general things and answering any questions anyone's got, and we've got our giveaway to do as well. So we'll talk those things through. But James first, I just want to say hello to you. How are you doing, James? Good to see you.
Yep. Hi, Chris. Hi, everybody. We're doing well.
Yeah, you doing okay?
Yep. Had a good day, so.
Excellent. Great. So we'll see how, we're sort of keen to have some questions come in. We're going to be online for maybe around an hour. And any questions that come in, we can talk about and discuss. And if there are people that want to be considered for our giveaway, so we're giving away a little sensory toy set. Looks quite nice. It's the Amazon's choice for sensory gift sets. And we'd like to give that away to someone who might benefit from that. So if anyone here is based in England and would like to be considered, just pop your name in the chat, and we're going to just choose one random name towards the end of the live stream. Hello, Ria. It's nice to see a familiar name. Ria Basista. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, the surname. I always want to make sure I pronounce surnames correctly because of my surname and how people always mispronounce them. Everybody always mispronounces my name. Everybody usually calls me Christopher Papadopoulos. And my name is not Christopher, by the way. That always rubs me the wrong way. I don't know why. I'm not very offended by anything. I'm like the most easygoing person. But when it comes to Christopher, I'm like, I don't know why I've got this ingrained. Oh no, I need for Christopher. It's just Chris. I don't know what it is. So anyway, so what else are we talking about, James? So we've got some updates.
Well, we've done a ton of things with the charity that we can talk about.
Good. I apparently pronounced it correctly. Can you see Ria's comments, James?
Yeah.
Okay, great. We've been doing lots of things, haven't we, with the charity?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll just update people on that, and we've got some other secretive things that we can't publicly announce that are in the works at the moment. So some exciting things on the horizon, hopefully, as well, that maybe we can talk about next time. But James, do you want to just maybe mention what we've been up to recently?
Yeah. It's interesting to kind of look back over the past couple of months. We've been working away steadily, and we've got our YouTube channel up now that you've been updating with all the videos from the live streams on there as well. And we hope to have more content for that soon.
Yeah.
We've got the Autism Podcast, which we keep doing, which is, separate. So, and we're going to have a season on autistic culture. And so more episodes coming out to do with that, and more people to interview.
We've already interviewed a number of people, and we've released the first episode of the sort of mini season of episodes, which is an interview with Mainspring Arts. So if you haven't listened to that particular podcast episode, you definitely should, because Mainspring Arts are really quite well known. They really do great work in supporting neurodivergent representation and their voice within the arts. And they're an amazing, it just seems like an amazing organization that probably don't get enough spotlight, maybe. That was my sense.
I was doing some research on it, and I came across them, and I really wish, because I always said I wanted to be a writer and stuff, but don't have the social experience to kind of write about characters. So I just wished that they'd have been around when I was like in my teens, you know. So yeah, but I love that they've done things like supporting people to publish their books and lots of different things.
Ria says that she's been PFA and looking. Oh, another message just came through. Oops, my comment jumped off my finger before completing. Okay, good. All right, if you wouldn't mind completing that first, thanks. I wasn't sure what you meant PFA. So I'll keep an eye on that. But yes, James, yeah. Thanks for helping with organising that podcast with Mainspring. Really, really good. And we've got a couple more really good ones in particular. Do you want to mention maybe Samita?
Oh yeah, so well, I came across Sumita because she'd also been supported by Mainspring.
This is, by the way, we should probably mention her full names. It's Samita Majumdar. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly again.
Or Majumdar.
Majumdar. Sorry, you're right. Yeah. Majumdar. Yes. Yeah. Samita Majumdar.
See, from memory. I've got a terrible memory, but I remember that. Yeah, so came across her. She'd been supported by Mainspring, and she had these amazing songs that she'd written, and she plays and sings on Instagram. And I showed her the videos to you, and then we sort of both did a little bit more research about her, and it turns out she's one of the voice actors and writers for the cartoon about an autistic little boy called Pablo on the BBC. So that's really exciting. And
now on Netflix, I think it's on Netflix now, isn't it, as well? Both CBBS and Netflix.
So yeah, so that's fantastic.
So if you're interested in Pablo, which is a really fantastic show, I mean, I listened to a couple of interviews with the producers of the show, and they were saying it's more like a movement than a show, because it's really trying to move, again, just move our kind of societal conception of autism and what autistic children in particular sort of experience and that sort of thing. And it is unbelievable.
It really has, hasn't it?
It really is. Yeah,
it's the first show that I've ever heard of that's actually consulted autistic people before
Kieran.
the making of it.
Yeah. Just to say, sorry to cut you there, just cut you off there. Just wanted to say hi, Kieran Curry. She's just saying hi to us. Can you see her comments? Did you say?
And hello, and Sakina as well.
Great to see Sakina. Some familiar faces. Hi, Sakina. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, we were just talking about our chat with Samita and the fact that she is one of the main voiceover actors for one of the main characters, Ren, in the TV show Pablo. We had a really good chat with her. I've had multiple chats actually, and she's just an extraordinary autistic young woman who has got an incredible story. You'll hear on the podcast when we release it. Has gone through quite a difficult journey. Hello, Dino Jones. Hi, nice. Thanks for coming on and joining us. Yeah, so with Samita, she's gone through a really tough journey, and yet has come through and, been involved in this show and leveraged her identity and her strengths and her experiences in an incredibly positive and empowering way, without much support. She's just, honestly, she's just one of those women that you just heroic, And we should also mention she's one of the co-writers of the show as well, on Pablo.
Yeah. And she's doing other things as well. She's doing live shows with other neurodivergent people. I think there's a thing called Lava Elastic, and they normally have an event, but it's been online lately. So you can catch they do a live stream, and you can probably, if they've recorded it, you can probably see it, see her and other people.
So if you haven't checked out Samita Majumdar's work, please go and Google her name. Go to
Pablo.
her
A lot of people haven't heard of Pablo, which I'm surprised at. But it's actually like probably the best thing on TV to do with autism, in children anyway. But there's a lot of themes that come into adult autism as well, and adult autistics can learn a lot, and parents can learn a lot. Certainly every episode deals with a different theme to do a different trait or event or something that comes up with autistic people. So and they're making more of them, which is great.
Yeah. And as you were saying before, that one of the main strengths of the show, if not the central strength, is that all of their writers, so they have a team of writing staff, and all of them are autistic. So all of the storylines and the kind of character development and everything is from real autistic experience.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some really bad ones that have been attempted in the past, and or if you ask autistic people about it, they're just it's like, no, don't even mention those things. There's also been some really bad attempts at dramatization in the theatre, and it was just totally destroyed in the press and stuff like that by autistic people as well, because it was just totally offensive, and it had portrayed an autistic child. It had live actors for the rest of the people, and then there was this really ugly puppet that was the autistic child. It was just totally wrong, you know.
I remember that. Yeah.
So I'm glad things have moved away from that. Yeah.
Dino Jones says that he's watched one episode. What did you think of it, Dino? I'd be curious to see your thoughts on that.
I know they even did a special episode on lockdown, which was really useful.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, really good.
Being stuck in, and why the reasons why we have to stay in and wash our hands and all that.
Yeah. So yeah, look out for that interview with Samita, and we've got some more upcoming as well. Dino's just said, I've just started watching Hollyoaks because a friend told me there's an autistic actor on there. There is indeed a friend of ours, in fact. That is Cary Grant's daughter, who's on Hollyoaks. I think it's Olivia Grant, I think. I don't watch Hollyoaks, but I know the family very well. Cary's a good friend of mine.
She was on the podcast, wasn't she?
And she was on the podcast.
Autism podcast that we do.
Yeah. So if Dino, you should. I think she talks about her a little bit. I believe, maybe not. I'm not sure, but you might be interested in checking that podcast out. That was the second. I believe it was the second one we ever did with Cary.
Yeah, I don't think I was on that one actually.
Oh, apologies, Dino, female. Yeah, I'm sorry. But yes, she's a permanent. You say you can't remember the episode, but she is a permanent. I think she's one of the main characters, and I've heard really good things from Cary that the show really made really good adjustments and support for her daughter, and have been really accommodating, and apparently it's just been the best thing for her well-being, just generally. So yeah. I think maybe we're making some progress with autistic representation in the media. Obviously, a long way to go, though.
In the actual, I think there needs to be a lot of stuff done in the actual news, because the news is still not representative at all, to be honest. So unless there's an autistic person that comes on, or a good ally such as yourself, Chris, when you've been on the radio a good few times,
and this might be sorry.
Yeah, you're scheduled to be on again, aren't you?
Yeah. So this might be a good way to pivot to this
Yeah.
particular point. Don't know if you purposely meant that one, James, but that was nice if you did. Impressive.
Yeah.
But but yeah. So in terms of news, I'm going to be on the on BBC Five Live Radio Drive Time on Wednesday night, along with hopefully James as well. We're going to be on it together.
Hopefully.
And we're going to be talking for about 20-25 minutes to the country, all about lockdown, how lockdown has affected, how it's affected the autistic and wider autism community, and in particular, talking about some of the findings that a survey that I was involved with found, which was quite a big survey and had some really fascinating results that really resonate what we would have said anyway, because we obviously talk with a lot of people and we have strong links with the community, so we see what themes are. And so anyway, we're going to be talking about that stuff on Wednesday. It's pretty exciting, and I have to hand it to the producer. I had a long chat with him today, and he really wants to try and improve, as you were saying, James, sort of media representation and have an impact. So, I mean, some people are trying really, really well. I had another chat, I should quickly mention, I had another chat with, just to say, Dino says she hadn't realized it was Carrie's daughter. Yeah, it definitely is. And yes, I've read they have been accommodating, and it is nice to be able to identify with a female on TV. Only ever seen male autistic actors. Yeah, great point. Great point. But the other thing I wanted to mention just about this topic of representation on the media, I was talking to another journalist a couple of weeks ago, and he was using first person language when he was referring to autism. You know, he kept saying, you know, I was speaking to someone with autism, and he was very low functioning or whatever. He was using functional languages, and just all the sort of wrong or problematic way of talking about it, just because he doesn't know any better, you know. And I'm pleased to say that I sort of pointed it out to him, and he took it really well. He was, you know, sort of explained it to him that he needs to be using identity first language, and the whole functioning thing is a problem. The whole functioning, you know, kind of labeling is really problematic
now,
yeah. And he, to his credit, said he was going to talk to the entire BBC newsroom and tell them to feed back what I told him. So hopefully
it's on our website, so they can have a look. They can learn a thing.
Yeah, we'll see if anything changes. So
we were talking about what the charity's doing. Shall we get back to
there's one more thing, isn't there, on that front? That's we've been supporting, it was your idea to support young autistic YouTubers or social media people, influencers. I don't know what the term is. I mean, James, do you want to talk us through, because it was your idea? I think you should get the full credit for this.
Just a great idea to support any young autistic advocates out there, or any old ones, to be perfectly honest.
True.
So just to give any support we can, find out what people want to do and how they want to make a difference, and we'll support them. In the case of these ones, it wasn't too hard. We gave some support with some technical equipment, and I did a bit of graphic design for one of them.
Sorry, scores you, James. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say what Dina's just mentioned. She's mentioned something interesting. A psychologist told me I was high functioning, and I put her in her place, as I don't agree with such labels. Good for you, Dino.
Absolutely.
Great. I mean, what on earth? The problem is that it's coming from the professionals often, this language. And that's a real problem, isn't it? Because they're the people that you sort of draw a lot of hope from, or have a big influence. I mean, if people don't know themselves much better, or they're new into the world of autism.
Well,
They'll be influenced.
the professional training needs a lot of updates, and it has to be mandatory that everyone should go. You know, even if they've been a psychologist for 20 years or whatever, they should go and get retrained or extra training, because everyone's using this out of date language, and it's just not acceptable anymore. You know. Oh, anyway, carry on. There's so many things going around in my head.
I know, yeah.
Too many things to.
But good on you,
Yeah.
Dino, for
Yeah,
setting
absolutely.
him straight, setting that psychologist straight. But you were saying about supporting YouTubers and who we specifically did you want to mention who specifically we've supported?
Yep. So there's a young lady called Autistic My Autistic Sparkle, and we can maybe put the links in the chat later on. And she's just a really young and energetic and fantastic new YouTuber.
I mean, she's only like
she's 7 years old,
7.
but she's talked
Amazing.
about such amazing stuff. She was on the there was for Autistic Pride week. They did a I think it was a 12-hour Zoom stream with autistic advocates linking up from all around the country for Autistic Pride, and she was one of the advocates on there. She was amazing, and we also supported her older sister, and she's called herself Green Streak, and she is talking in videos on Instagram, and she's started a YouTube channel as well. And she's talking about female autistic issues already in a totally amazing way. And I think she's going to be, when lockdown ends properly, she's going to probably be working for autistic advocacy organizations in no time. The way she's speaking, and she's only, I think, 21 or something, but amazing as well. So yeah, if anybody knows of anybody that wants to get into that kind of thing, then let us know. Send us a message.
Oh, my dog's barking in the background. I think she wants our support as well. The dog maybe on there.
Well, she could do pet therapy. I've told you.
Yeah,
pet
you have.
Therapy
Yeah.
is amazing. You know.
What was I going to say? Just in terms of, I just want to repeat what you said, really. Like, if anybody out there knows any, I think in particular, we're looking at young autistic advocates who need a bit of support. Perhaps they need a bit of equipment or some help with some connections, making some connections or some tips. Anything that we can do on a practical level, we can maybe fund a little bit of support, then let us know. Get in touch. It's something that we're really keen to do, because I think really the future, obviously these people are the future, and they're going to be making massive impact, aren't they, with what they're doing. So if we can just help them along, then it's a win for us, isn't it? Okay, so we've got a question from Kieran Curry. Thanks, Kieran. This is a great question, by the way. What has been the most positive, in inverted commas, personal takeaway for you both from your lockdown experience? Have there been any? James, you want to go first?
I don't know if we can draw a positive one. From an autistic point of view, it's just like, well, now everyone else knows what it's like. I think that's kind of a universal theme that's come up with other autistic people. It sort of brought home a lot of things and to the wider world, and maybe has changed the way we look at doing things online compared to not doing them, compared to doing them in person. That things can be done online if push comes to shove. It can work. Things like homeschooling can work for children that can't attend school or for various reasons, or find it really difficult. So I think maybe some people will be encouraged to homeschool where maybe they wouldn't have before, and things like that.
Yeah. In terms of me, I would say that's a great question, Kieran. I would probably say, in relation to your question, that I'd probably say number one is my son, my autistic son, my oldest. I've got 2 autistic boys out of 3 boys, but my eldest, just before lockdown, well, I'd say about 6 to 9 months preceding lockdown, he was really struggling at school. His anxiety had gone up. He had some had various challenges that I don't think the school was supporting him quite the right way. The TAs that he had, not so great. Anyway, for various reasons, his anxiety clearly shot up, and we were getting really concerned and doing what we could, obviously. And once lockdown happened, obviously we had various other challenges with him then sort of transitioning into this new routine. He definitely struggled for the first 2 or 3 weeks quite significantly with it. I mean, he's someone that really relies on being able to, do certain things in the outside world, go to certain places. It really regulates him. And so he really struggled. He really struggled with transitioning, to be honest with you. But once he did transition, and just got into a new routine, his anxiety, in terms of going back to the schooling thing, his anxiety went right down. And that has been really nice to see. All of the anxiety that was continuously happening on a day-to-day basis because of school has been removed. And I think that's quite telling, really, as what James, again, that sort of supports what you were saying, James, really, about, homeschooling is definitely now something that we can see is more feasible than perhaps we could see before, and society perhaps is going to be more accepting of it as well, because it was clearly stigmatized before, wasn't it? It was frowned upon. But I just think, for us anyway, in terms of seeing this, observing his reduction in anxiety, is quite telling that the school needs to do better. That if it isn't him, do you know what I mean? Ultimately, it isn't him. It's his environment. It's his, it's his daily structures and environment. So it's been quite telling. And I've just to add one little thing on top of that, connected to that, is that it's been great spending more time with him. Just sort of, spending the day. I'm obviously working at home, so I'm still busy and tucked away in the office. But in between things, and so forth, I get to see him a lot more, and he's calmer as well, as I said, and we're just sort of enjoying each other's company, and it's been great in that respect. Probably I'd say that's the number one best thing. There are some other things, but not autism related, that have been good. But thanks for the question, Kieran. Feel free to pop down in the comment box what's been your most positive personal takeaway, if any, if you wish. That would be nice and interesting to hear. Dino just asks if we know Agony Auti, because she watched Agony Auti on the live Pride Zoom. Yeah, we were on the Pride live Pride Zoom as well, and we saw her talk.
We met her at the 2019 Pride organised by Autistic Inclusive Meets, and yeah, it was amazing. She's really, really kind person. So she's going through a bit of a tough time at the moment, but hopefully in a little while she'll be back doing stuff gradually, I think. So fingers crossed.
She messaged us a while ago to say that she this isn't breaking any confidence or anything, but that she would be happy to do something with us. Was it a pod? I think it was a podcast, right? Or was it a live
but I
stream?
think that's sort of off the cards for the moment.
For now, yeah. But my point is that at some point in the future, once she's ready, once she's comfortable, we're definitely going to do something. Hopefully, yeah. But yeah, she seems like a really lovely. She was lovely when we met her, and she seems great. I just wish her all the best with her recovery.
Absolutely.
Ria, the sister, do you prefer remote learning for your children or face-to-face or mix in September? That's a good question. James, would you like to go first?
It doesn't really apply for me because my son, I can't really see him returning to school. So the only option I've really got is remote learning, and he has had some extra sessions of with his music therapist from school over the summer, which is very kind of her, and he really enjoyed it because he recognized her, and it was, she could play music down the Skype to him, and he loved it. So it's definitely better than nothing. It's not the same as he doesn't have the sort of interaction with the other children, but it's definitely better than nothing.
But come September, will the situation change?
In my case, unfortunately, my son got ill 2 years ago with an ordinary bug, and because his epilepsy is so bad and it's triggered by high temperatures, he had a massive load of seizures. He was in hospital for a week, and it's really dodgy. Epilepsy can be life-threatening, and so there's no way I can risk it really.
Right.
So
of course,
and the school have been really supportive. They understand. So I'll just take things as they come.
Yeah. Same here, really. Take things as they come. We'll have to see what the situation is in September for all of us in terms of what the kind of levels of transmission rates are. But as it stands, the plan is to send him back. The school obviously have various things in place to try and minimize transmission. And in our son's case, I think it's worth trying, even though he had the anxiety before. I think it's worth trying for him to go face to face, simply because he's going to have new teachers. His class students, they always stay the same from year to year, and they're great. They're really supportive and kind, and they're not the problem. The kids aren't the problem. It's the TAs and the teacher that he had last year. I didn't really like. Never seemed to take what I was saying seriously enough, and was a bit arrogant about it all. But this year, apparently, he's got a good teacher with a good reputation. So I think we'd like to give him a chance. He wants to go back as well.
Okay, that's brilliant. That's a good sign.
So, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'm going to keep an eye on things, and if his anxiety returns, I might pull him out because his well-being is first and foremost. What about you, Ria? Just to put the question back to you. What's your preference for September? Put your comment in the box if you don't mind. Kieran has come back with her answer. Accessing amazing theatre shows over YouTube. Oh yeah, you shared a couple of them, haven't you? On a couple of links on the group, I think, Facebook group. Wish they did this all the time. My kids have watched shows which they couldn't have accessed unless an autism-friendly performance was scheduled. It's an interesting point, isn't it?
Yeah,
What do you think, James?
Yeah, there's been an explosion of these kind of things, online videos and live shows from wonderful organizations that they're sort of really stuck in lockdown, so they're having to find creative ways to promote themselves, and that's one of the ways. So I've seen a lot of special needs theatre companies and people that specialize in sensory processing and things like that, or using music, lights, all different things. So yeah, there's been some really amazing shows, and we shared them on our Facebook group for the London Autism Group.
I hope they continue it post COVID. You know, why not? You know, just to broadcast it live over YouTube for people to watch. Should it suit their situation better, or should there not be an autism-friendly performance available? Or even if there was, it may not be accessible for some people.
I think
accessibility is going to be key, isn't it? All the time.
Yeah, but I think these shows, they do take a lot of work. The production of these shows, like a lot of these theatre companies. So I don't know if they're going to have the time, because they're like very small organisations like ourselves, but they've got like these massive. It really takes a lot of many hours and a lot of work to put together. The shows are really fantastic. These theatre companies. So I don't know if they're going to have the time, but I hope they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Great one though, Kieran. I'm really glad that you found that. And it just, again, just for me, it just shows, how important accessibility is, because without it being accessible, our kids or other autistic people just are going to miss out, aren't they? They're unfairly disadvantaged. And that's just not fair, is it, really? I don't know. Ria's response to her earlier question about what she prefers with regard to schooling mode come September, she says, I'm planning 3-day remote deliveries and perhaps 1 or 2 days face-to-face. Okay, so a mix. She's going to go for a mix. I mean, that might end up being the way that we do it as well, depending on how the situation is.
It might be a good way to transition as well, gradually. I know that's the way, when my son was really little, that's the way I transitioned him into going to special needs nursery. Just a couple of, they couldn't do a full week anyway, but it worked out really well. So it wasn't so much of a shock. It was just very gradual, and he got used to the place and everything like that very gradually. So it might be a good idea to hang on to for transition in general.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for that. Feel free to add any other comments or questions. So the other thing that we wanted to just mention was that we're really, really still actively looking for volunteers for the charity. So if anyone is listening to this and knows anyone that wouldn't mind, perhaps spending a few hours here and there supporting us with a few things, then please do let them know and ask them to get in contact with us, or if you yourself have some time to support us, because I think we've got many things that we need help with.
Well, yeah, we haven't even scratched the surface with talking about what the charity's doing. And although me and you, we do a lot of the work and stuff, we've got some volunteers, but there's always things that we can delegate, and then we can do even more things, you know, or we can do things faster, which is a good thing, you know.
Yeah, that's right. I think having volunteers to help us is going to really be critical for us to just move things forwards. I mean, we do, as James said, we do now have a few volunteers, fortunately, but we definitely need some more. So if you know of anyone, and there's loads of different opportunities, like what we always do with volunteers is that we sort of informally chat and interview in inverted commas. It's more just an formal chat. And obviously we have some various things that we know we need some help with, but we always are keen to listen to what their strengths are and what they're interested in. So, I mean, I can mention the example. I can mention an example, right, James, about forestry.
Yeah.
So, for example, we spoke to this one guy, really lovely guy, keen to help, and you know, he just had an interest that we would never have. Well, I would never have thought of, which was forestry. You know, and trying to find open spaces. You know, to organize meetups and just sort of enjoy forestry together. Maybe set up a sort of forestry autism interest group, because obviously forestry is great for mental health. It's a big thing in this country, isn't it? Forestry. But so, you know, and he's really keen to sort of do that for us. That would make him happy, and it aligns with what we're trying to do in terms of making impact positively in terms of mental health in this case, and that would align. So we're really keen to just listen to whatever volunteers are interested in.
Yeah, because we got a million things that we're doing, so we can always slot people into where their skill sets fit to help with the charity, what we're doing.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. So, as I said, if anyone knows anyone, please let me know, or let James know, or just contact us. Ria says open spaces is going to be massive given the COVID situation. Yeah, great point. I think everybody's just going to need. It's good. I think there's going to be a demand for just accessing open spaces and getting out. Isn't there's going to be a rising demand for something like that? Having gone through what we've gone through, so hopefully that's something that we can push forwards in due course. But we'd never have thought of that.
Can I just mention another thing we're doing?
Please do.
We've got a blog on our website, which is dedicated to we want to get some neurodivergent writers maybe to do some writing on there. So that would be really good if anyone knows anybody or anybody wants to contribute to the blog.
We have someone who's kindly volunteered to write us a couple of blogs. The topics are going to be on employment discrimination and ethnic and cultural issues and stigma. So I think that's just another thing that we're keen to promote and to do. I mean, yeah.
We've already got a few general ones.
Yeah, you've wrote some really nice ones
that I've done.
Yeah. Anything, Ria? She's asking how much time do you want from a volunteer? Do you need from we'll work with whatever time the volunteer has.
It can be a small task or a big task.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a big task, but even just do it in bit, and just bit by bit. Yeah,
it's fine.
So whatever, really. We're very flexible, and it could be done entirely remotely. They don't have to be based in London or even the southeast. Oh, okay, we've got a question. A question to ask a question. Veronica Weber, please feel free. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Hey, can I ask you something? Yes, of course. This is an Ask Us Anything live stream. So feel free to ask. And I should mention, by the way, if those listening right now do want to be considered for the giveaway, just say so in the comments, make it clear that you want to be considered for it. It is a toy, a really nice sort of sensory toy gift set. Okay, the question that we've got from Veronica is, why do people bullying me just because I have autism? Okay, well, I'm very, very sorry to hear that. First of all, very, very sorry. Secondly, I would say it is unfortunately highly prevalent. That all the research seems to indicate that bullying is quite prevalent among autistic people. Nadia would like to be okay. I've got you, Nadia. Thank you. Going back to the bullying thing. So yeah, you're not alone on that front, Veronica. And I'd say it stems from people's misunderstanding and stigma and prejudice towards autistic people, or anything that they fear or don't understand or view differently. You know, a lot of people have problems of their own that they carry, a lot of insecurities, a lot of anxiety, a lot of fears. And unfortunately, sometimes they sort of put those fears and anxieties and insecurities into attacking another person for feeling of personal empowerment. But Veronica, if you're interested, we do have a really nice and powerful podcast on the topic in which we talk to an expert on the subject of bullying, sort of anti-bullying consultant. She is, her name is Emily Lovegrove. She's an expert on the topic, and I'd really encourage you to listen to the podcast. So our podcast is called The Autism Podcast. And if you just look through it, you'll see there's only one episode that's been on bullying, and you can listen to her sort of expert thoughts on that subject. But yeah, that I'm really, really sorry to hear that you are going through that, and I hope your mental health and well-being are okay. I'll put them. Yes, indeed, I will. She wants me to put the name of the expert, Emily Lovegrove. That's her name. I've just typed it for you. And I'm going to send you a link now to the episode that I'm talking about, because it will be, I'm sure, helpful. James, while I do that, is there anything you wanted to say? While I find the link.
Well, bullying in general seems to be a topic that comes up again and again. And I think as we go on with our expanding the charity's scope, I think that's one thing we have to tackle. You know, at the moment we're just tackling it through educating and trying to undo the misconceptions that are already out there about autistic people and autism. But one of the things we eventually want to do is have advocacy and that kind of thing. So that's an aim that we've got to address at some point.
I mean, it's one of the worst things, really, isn't it? For the victims, and in this case, there are actually a lot of victims. Obviously, there's the person getting bullied, but behind the picture, the bullier is often also a victim of sorts because of their the problems they have in their life, and that they then displace into a bullying interaction. And then, of course, there's the parents and carers and families that also have to sort of manage this. And it's really something that I think ultimately is going to be prevented by better acceptance of autistic people and valuing autism as a difference, really, rather than a something bad or wrong. That I think is going to be the main thing. Nobody's going to get. I think it's unlikely that people will be bullied just because they're left-handed, for example. We don't sort of negatively as a society prejudice people based on whether they're left-handed or right-handed, right? And that's where we've got to get to with autism. We've just got to see it as a difference in identity, in being, not a target of negative labeling and bullying. But I'm sorry to hear that you're going through that. And I do recommend, as I said, reading through that, looking at that, listening through to that podcast. And as for your question about whether she's on YouTube, I'm not sure she's on YouTube, but in the podcast episode description, if you scroll down, you'll see the links to how to contact her if you wish to. So there's her Twitter page and other links there. So it's all there. But as a starting point, I really recommend you listen to the podcast. Feel free to comment more if you wish, Veronica, on the situation, or ask anything more. And
just generally, if you are still going through something that you do need an organization to support you on, victim support is a very good one to deal, if it's something really, really serious, or they can signpost you to other organizations.
But I'd say one other thing I would say is, definitely look into other supportive organizations, as James said. But I'd say, keep in mind, Veronica, that the problem is not you. The problem is everyone else, and unfortunately you're a victim of the problems other people have, and there's nothing wrong with you whatsoever, so don't view this as anything negative about yourself, I would say, as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for asking such an important question. That's exactly why we're here, to give advice and support if we can. Great question.
We've still got shows how much a mountain we've got to climb in changing. It's going to take a real societal shift to get rid of some of this.
Bullying is really, really highly prevalent, unfortunately. Sakina, I would like to be considered for the giveaway. Great. Also, what kind of sensory toy is it? Okay, I'll tell you what. Shall I just send the link? What do you think, James? Is that a good idea?
Can do.
I'll show you. I'm going to send the link here. If I can find it. I'm just on Amazon. Hang on just a second. I think it was this one. Okay, here it is. Sakina and everyone else that wishes to for a little look. Make sure you come back to the live stream, though. Don't leave us permanently. It's not an excuse. But great, there you go. We've got 2 people, so it's 50-50 at the moment. Anyone else wishes to be considered for the giveaway? Entirely free. It is as you can see, fidget sensory toys, stress relief balls, some soybean squeezes, some chains, stretch strings. It's highly rated, #1 bestseller. Looks all right. If you think you might benefit from that and you live in England, we have a postal address that I could send to in England, then please do state in the chat box now that you're interested in the giveaway and you'd like to be considered. At the moment, I've only got 2 names, so it's 50-50. Flick of a coin. Oh, Nadia, my 4-year-old would love it. Okay, I don't want to give any promises, but yeah, it's 50-50. So anyone else wants to battle Nadia and Sakina for the giveaway, which I'm going to do in the next few minutes, I think, because it's coming up to an hour already. It's gone quickly, hasn't it, James? Always does.
Yeah, it always does. I enjoyed chatting with you on here. So. I could easily do a 12-hour charity live stream if anyone's interested. We could try and keep it going for a week. Yeah.
We'd get in the Guinness Book of Records or something, wouldn't it? Oh, we've got a question from Kieran.
Yeah.
Last questions from, if you could jump in your DeLorean, or I'd love a DeLorean. That's the car from Back to the Future, right? Go back in time, speak to yourself speak to your pre-lockdown self. What would you say or recommend? Blimey, these are really good questions, Kieran. Where are you getting them? Okay, winner of best questions is, well, you know, you're up there, Kieran. You're up there. That's really good. Gosh, let me think about that. If I could jump back, go back in time, say something to myself, what would I? Crikey, that is a good one. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'll go then.
Go on.
I think the biggest issue that we had was the shopping, because I'm a single parent, and I can't leave my son alone. But I also couldn't take him out during the lockdown, and there were no deliveries or anything like that where we were. So yeah, it was very hard. I had things like him having his epileptic seizures in the supermarkets, you know, laying on the floor and things like that when there's viruses around, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't ideal, you know, the first month or so. So yeah, I'd say stock up. You know,
toilet paper.
well, I never had an issue with the toilet paper. We always had plenty of toilet paper for some reason, but it was just food. We're eating so much more food because we're indoors and we don't go out. So the food lasts like half as long as it used to.
Gosh, you've really stumped me there, Kieran. I'm struggling to think of what I would say to my pre-doc. I'm guessing you're talking about the sort of weeks leading up to lockdown, right? You're not talking about a year ago or so.
You'd obviously tell yourself the lottery numbers.
That's true. Kieran, don't start comfort eating. Oh, is that what you? Well, I have to be honest, Kieran, since we're talking about this, I have actually lost a bit of weight during lockdown. I've gone on a personal training
quest
extravaganza. Quest. Yeah. So I might tell myself to not give in with my personal training, and I can do it, and I can get my health and fitness sorted out, give myself a bit of encouragement, maybe. I might also say, look, you know, it's going to be tough. I might give myself a warning just to sort of let myself know it's going to be tough, you know, and things are going to change, but there's going to be some positives and opportunities to come from it. And you're going to be all right. I think I might just reassure myself. I was feeling quite, like a lot of people, quite anxious about the whole situation. Yeah, I'm going to have to keep thinking about that. I'm sure. Thank you, Kieran. Well done, Chris. Yeah, I needed to do it. Kieran needed to lose a bit of weight. So still got quite a bit of time, quite a bit of weight still to lose, but I'm about halfway through, I'd say, and doing it. And the strange thing about it is that it hasn't actually been that hard. It's just consistency. Anyway, this is not about turn this into a weight loss live stream and make out as if I know what I'm talking about, which I don't, by the way. Yeah, I don't know. I'd reassure myself and encourage myself to, you know.
Oh, that's another thing that I was actually speaking to someone about, an autistic person today. They were asking me if we have any life coaches for autistic people. So that's something, if there's anyone listening that wants to volunteer some time. That's something that somebody wants. So there's all kinds of opportunities. You know.
Great point. Yeah. Okay, so I think if there's, I'll also change Wi-Fi provider. Is that your one? Oh yeah, we actually did that. We changed Wi-Fi from Sky to Virgin and got a new router installed, and everything's much better now. I'm happier. Okay, so one last call for people who wish to be considered for the giveaway. To give it another minute, and otherwise I'm going to select a random name, and then that'll be that. We will send you your winning gift.
Just number the names and then use a random number generator.
Well, there's only two at the moment. There's only two. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll put it in a random number generator. Anyone else wishes to be considered for the giveaway? 30 more seconds to put your name in the box. And we will be delighted to consider you for the free giveaway. Okay, I'm going to load up the random number generator. The number generator. Okay. I'm going to put 1 and 2.
We need some lottery music. Yeah. Some amazing music for next time.
Yeah. Okay, so okay, I think then that is it, right? Shall I do it? Doesn't look like anyone else wants to put their names in.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so I'm going to draw between Nadia, who's number 1, and Sakina, who's number 2. Okay, good luck to both of you. All right, so I'm going to do it now. So what did I say, by the way? Nadia's number 1, Sakina's number 2, right? Is that what I said? Yeah. Sakina's number 2, yeah. Okay. And the winner is number 1, which is Nadia. Nadia Gillard, you have won the giveaway. Sakina, I'm really, really sorry. It number 1 genuinely came up. In fact, I can try. I'll take a picture. In fact, there you go. I'll show you. So it's as transparent as it possibly could be. There you go. Oh, can you see that? There you go. Number 1. Can you see that? James, can you see that?
I can see that.
Number 1 came up. Oh, new messages. Hey, Nadia's happy. Great. Okay, Nadia. So could you drop us an email with your address details, contact details? Our email is London Autism Group Charity at gmail.com. I'll type it in here.
You want to use the Gmail one?
Oh, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, either way.
Or our official one is for the website, but you can use a Gmail one.
Yeah, you can contact us in any way you want. Sakina's a good loser, which we like. Congratulations, Nadia from Sakina. That's our Gmail. We also have we have other ways you can contact us, but just get in contact and send us your details, and I'll order it as soon as possible. I'm glad somebody won it, James. There you go.
Yeah,
fun.
Excellent.
Fun. We'll have to do another giveaway. Sakina, you'll have another chance. And in fact, I should say now. Okay, great idea. Thank you. I should say now that we've got another live stream next week with Henny Hub, who are a fairly new organization. Right, they're about a month or 2 old. That Melissa Coleman launched. Sorry, go on, James.
I think they're a little bit like maybe 6 months they've been going.
Oh, is it?
But
Okay.
yeah.
My apologies. Anyway, they do speech and language therapy, occupational therapy, and play therapy videos. So basically what they do is they have experts that do videos, to my understanding, that people can access on a limited way for free. And then if they subscribe, they can get full access to these sort of expert videos. And Melissa, the founder, is going to join us to tell us all about it. And Sakina says, thanks, Chris. I couldn't see the Amazon link for the sensory item. When you can, please share the link. Okay, I'm going to send it to you right now again. There you go, Sakina. I've just sent it through on the chat again. That's what is being sent to Nadia. Okay, so as I was saying, next week we have Henny Hub joining the podcast, joining the live stream. Melissa, the founder, is going to join us along with a speech and language therapist that they use. So we'll have a good chat about speech and language therapy next week, which I'm pretty excited about, actually. We haven't had a chat about speech and language therapy with a professional, I don't think.
No, we've had a lot of professionals, but I don't think it's speech and language.
Yeah, which is a glaring omission by us, isn't it, really?
We've covered a lot, but we still have other areas to cover. So we're gradually covering them all.
Yeah, one by one. So yeah, please join us next week, same time. Oh, she can't see it. Okay, Sakina, if you just simply go to Amazon, you can't see it either.
You can't click on it. You see, it's in the chat. You can't click on the links.
Okay, so Sakina and Nadia, neither Nadia. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What if you go to Amazon?
Just tell them what to search. The item name.
Yeah. So if you go to Amazon and search for fidget sensory toys for autism, I think it's first one that comes up. Maybe let me see. Oh no, there's a bunch of them. It's the bestseller. It's oh god, there's 3 bestseller ones. It's oh dear, I don't know how to do this, James.
Just copy the title of that one.
Oh yes, that's good idea.
The title without the link, just the title, and then they can see the exact wording of the title.
You're right. Of course. There you go. That's the exact title of the item. If you want to go and check that out. Thank you, Ria. Thank you, everybody. Hope this was enjoyable and fun. And thanks for your questions and comments. Thank you to all of you. Congratulations to Nadia. Thanks for being such a good loser on that front, Sakina. And we will do another giveaway soon, I promise. And yeah, come along to our live stream next week to hear from a speech and language therapist. That's pretty much it from me, I think. James, did you want anything else? Want to say anything else?
No, I didn't realize it's gone so quickly. It's really flown by. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming, and please join us next week and have some questions. If you've got any questions for the speech and language therapists, I'm sure they'll be happy to answer them.
Yeah, definitely. All right, take care. Thank you, James. Thanks for your time. And speak to everybody soon.
Okay, take care, everybody.